So I've actually had the luxury of seeing multiple films this year, and one of my favorite movies that I've seen in 2023 has been The Iron Claw. As someone that grew up with wrestling, I never even knew about the history of the Von Erichs. I never knew about the culture at that time. Basically, the most that I know about wrestling was John Cena and The Rock. But back then, there was a family that was kind of compared to like the Jackson 5 to a certain degree. Like they were the Jackson 5 of wrestling. And like many family empires, there's so many things behind the scenes that kind of just tear the families apart. In Iron Claw, this is probably just the best example of that. In the family, I believe there were 6 brothers in total. And this movie tends to focus on Kevin, who is the only living brother to date. I mean, this movie probably has the best ensemble cast to date. You got Lily James, you got Zac Efron, you got Harris Dickinson, you got Jeremy Allen White. So many superstars in one movie that just steal the show. But I think the person that really sticks out the most is definitely Harris Dickinson. Many of you guys may recognize him from Triangle of Sadness. He's easily one of the best actors in the game right now. Like in this movie, I think he's pretty much solidified himself as a star. But I think why Iron Claw sticks out to me is because it examines generational trauma, masculinity, and just the dangers of stardom to begin with. Like I'd say this movie's bound to make your ass cry. It's gonna hit different. And I think Iron Claw does a great job of not pulling any punches. For the most part, I really do feel like they did a great job of telling the history for what it actually was. Most biopics kind of tend to twist the truth, but it seems like this is definitely getting a lot of praise from Kevin and a lot of the family members who actually went through this. So in terms of it being historically accurate, I mean, I guess you could say it's pretty good. Now, of course, they do take some artistic liberties. Like they don't necessarily include all the brothers in the film. It's quite clear that it was intentional that they left out the youngest brother. I think that was mostly because you just don't want to have multiple characters dying all the time. Like we get the point of the story. I feel like they did a great job of kind of simplifying and just really showing the theme of the movie. Each and every single brother succumbs to a certain vice. Obviously with the first brother dying of drugs, Carrie, who probably was the most successful brother, dying from drugs, him having to deal with the pain after losing a leg. Even Stanley Simon's like great actor. I think Mike Von Erich is probably one of the characters that sticks out the most because he's one of the ones that didn't necessarily want to be a part of the wrestling business. Repression is one of those things that we can kind of feel in this movie. Like a lot of these guys didn't give a shit about wrestling. It was just the family that they cared most about. And Fritz Von Erich, the actor that plays Fritz Von Erich, he got down, he ate down. Fritz, they kind of make it seem as if he was someone that put the business over his family. And I think it was just his family being pushed too hard by their father that made this situation way worse than it actually should have been. It's definitely a story I can relate to personally, and I feel like a movie like this has to get a nomination to some degree. Honestly, if it can't win a Golden Globe, just give it an MTV award. I don't know. I don't think anyone expected Zac Efron to really channel that energy like this. He hasn't done an acting performance like this in his entire life. This is one of the best performances of the year. I think once people see this movie, they're going to enjoy it. I think this is one of those films that's definitely going to have one of those cult followings. I had a good time watching it, and I actually can't wait to see it again. I'd absolutely recommend seeing this movie. It's your boy Just Huge, aka Huge Jackman, and I'm going to be posting a lot more content on film screenings that I've seen in the past couple months. Just feel free to give me a follow on Instagram, Twitter, this and that. Link in the bio. Really appreciate y'all liking and following my content. Anyways, peace out.